Hey guys, this is John and Kurt with True Shot Gun Club, and today we're going to be reviewing the Taurus G3C.
Okay guys, so the G3C is Taurus's entry-level EDC gun, but it's really feature-packed. So John, tell us some of the features that it has.
Alright, so this gun is packed full of features coming out of the factory. So first and foremost, this is the second iteration of this size of gun for Taurus. First one was the G2C. It was originally known as the PT-111. So they've really kind of stepped that game up since the original iteration of this gun about 15 years ago. So first and foremost, we've got really good front and rear cocking serrations. You've got the great, really aggressive texturing on the grip. It does have a right hand only safety. It does have that Taurus second strike. So it is a single action trigger with a double action. So your first pull when the gun is cocked is single action. It's a very smooth, lot of take up, wall break.
That's what I was gonna say, and if you haven't shot one before, it's a little bit different, but the overall experience is really good. There's kind of a long take up, but you don't get that really hard, like if it's a straight double action, that really hard first pull, it's not there at all.
And then the double action is if the round doesn't go off. We did have one round not go off, or two rounds not go off. I tried to use the second strike, it was a bad round. You can say what you say about that. It could be, it's bad training, a lot of people think, but for a first time gun owner who doesn't know much, it makes sense to be like, okay, you can pull the trigger again and then we tap, rat, bang.
The other honestly nice thing about that feature is if you want to do dry fire practice, it's great.
And we did put it on the trigger pull gauge. While we're talking about the trigger, we put both of these on the trigger pull gauge. So trigger pull on this was averaging about 4.5 pounds. And the double action was averaging about 4.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad trigger. The reset is really short. It's very tactile. The other thing is, it comes with 3 mags from the factory.
Right.
For a budget-friendly gun like this, it's a 12-round gun, 12 plus 1, so you've got 13 rounds of 9mm on tap. And then this one in particular has their T.O.R.O optic system, which is Taurus optic ready option. So
it comes with 4 plates.
4 plates. So Kurt, can you tell me, a little bit about you've taken this apart. I haven't taken apart the optics part. About what's kind of interesting about that.
The nice thing about their plate system, and it covers a wide range of different optics, and really what's holding that plate on are just kind of pins sticking up. And what can happen over time is they'll shear, or the screws are also taking a lot of that force. And I've had that personally happen, where over time one of those screws will actually shear. Their design, and we'll cut away to it, it's a little bit different, and it's actually really pretty elegant and smart.
Now, not only that, you've got a ton of other safeties in it, not only the manual safety, but you've got striker safety, you've got the trigger safety, so it is a safety pack filled gun as well as a loaded chamber window, I would call it. They're touting it as a loaded chamber indicator. To me, an indicator is the actual little flag going up. It is a window you can look into. Unlike its predecessor, they did away with the adjustable rear sight. It is only drift adjustable, and from my understanding, these are compatible with Glock 43 sights.
I think the other thing to really touch on is when we both first kind of took a look at it in our initial impressions, and I think the biggest thing you can say about this gun is it's kind of the Chevy Malibu.
Yeah.
And again, when you're coming in, the MSRP comes in about $449. The street price right now, we're looking at about anywhere from $260 to about $399. You're getting a ton of gun for that price, and it is. At that price point, the fact that you get, the aggressive frame texturing, and honestly, it's in all the right places. The fact that they kind of worked in that finger groove, that's a huge plus too. As well as that optics plate setup with the T.O.R.O plate setup, that's great.
So the T.O.R.O plate setup, it's going to be on that higher end of the MSRP. So we're probably looking at like $280 to $399 for the optics. And again, the MSRP, or I'm sorry, the street price is so wide because so many people have this, and it depends on who's running a sale at the time. So even just without the optics plate, I've seen it as low as like $229.
Wow.
So without an optics cut, so you're looking that's a really wide window, and you're getting a lot of gun for very little money. I really think this is a great first gun for somebody who knows nothing about guns and is learning. It is a great first gun for that reason because it's first off it's concealable. It has a good capacity. I would say 12 plus 1, 13 rounds of 9mm is not bad.
Absolutely.
Comes with 3 mags, so they don't have to buy any extra mags. It's thin enough to carry, so it's got a very thin profile, and I believe this is a 1-inch overall profile, so it'll kind of theoretically compete with like a P365 and a couple other ones. It's a little bit longer in the grip.
Right.
But it's meant to compete with that kind of micro compact
It's kind of an in-between.
Yeah. All right, guys, before we move any further, let's go ahead and throw it over to some specs, throw those on the screen so you guys can see all the dimensions and all the cool features that come with this Taurus. The restrike capability, recoil impulse on it, so shooting impressions, I didn't mind it. You shot the living daylights out of it, and you were having a good time with this.
And I'm gonna be completely honest. When we went out to the range and we went to shoot this, I wasn't super excited, just to be honest. And then we started putting rounds through it, and yeah, this thing, I was tack driving with this thing. I could shoot it fast, very accurate. It's great.
And like I said, it has a lot to do with that trigger and the short reset. The reset's like, it's almost on par with Canik.
It is, and I will say, and I think that was the other piece of it, is as we were kind of dry firing it, it feels like a really long take up, and it's not, as crisp of a break as some other guns and that kind of thing. That being said, when you actually get out and shoot it, it was awesome.
Now, the other thing that I do want to add on is like, with other people's sandpaper grip, like we'll say the M&Ps.
Yeah.
After a while, you feel it.
Yeah.
This did not bother me, but
I agree.
It is that very aggressive sandpaper, and it's in the right spots.
It's definitely in the right spots. I'd be curious to see, I don't know, but I'd be curious to see, if you carried this as your EDC, if that would kind of rub on you or not.
I'm gonna be honest, Kurt. I had one of these at one point that I carried. Rubs a little. It rubs a little, and again, that was one of my first carry options because it was cheap, college student. I want something. I took it to the range and ran 500 rounds to it before I even tried it. Taurus has a bad reputation. Quality. I will say, in the last 5 to 10 years, they've really brought that quality up. They've come up with a lot of innovative products. Taurus as a company is not afraid to go outside of the box, as you can see with their past offerings like the Curve.
Right.
That was way outside of the box.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's also one of those things where it is, once an idea kind of gets set about particular companies, the firearms industry, for whatever reason, they like to really hang on to it, and kind of, beat up that company and never let them kind of move beyond. And I would really encourage people, give them another shake and see for yourself.
So, talking about reliability we put about 1,000 rounds to this gun.
Yeah.
We had 2 hiccups.
Yep.
One was ammo related because the primer was dented so hard that you couldn't tell, so we ended up getting rid of that round. The other one, we didn't try the restrike on it. We put it in another gun and it fired. Right. So I'm going to say that it's a combination of hard primer ammo. I don't think it has to do anything with the gun. The one had super hard primer, and there is a clip of me just cranking on that restrike. So the gun itself, great recoil impulse, great shooting impressions. I can't say anything bad about it. It does come with a Picatinny rail in the front. So Kurt, as we always ask, what do you think? Are you gonna buy this? Is this a good? Where do you see this fitting into the market of things?
For me personally, would I buy this today? Probably not. Would it be one of my first guns when I first started out? Or would I suggest this to others? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great choice for a lot of reasons. Like you mentioned, the dependability was there. The price point is great. The features that it includes, especially at that price point, you don't find in a lot of other guns. And the grip texturing, the fact that it's in all the right places. At first glance, it's not the flashiest gun in the world. That being said, once you get into it, and it was interesting because before we did this review, I was really kind of digging into it, and I had somebody else kind of ask me, they're like, what are you thinking? And what I was really doing is really analyzing a lot of the things that they've packed into this, and it's a lot of small things, but they all add up. And so it's a great gun. And I wasn't honestly so sure about kind of that restrike feature, but for dry fire practice, that's great.
Oh yeah, it's great. And like I said, there's the option to get bad habits started with that. Mm-hmm. Because if you move away from a Taurus and go into like a Glock or standard,
sure,
there's really nobody else on the market who has this in their gun.
Mm-hmm.
Kennick used to, I think, back in the day with their DASA guns.
Like, I don't know that I would use it for the actual restrike feature, because you're right, I don't know that I would have kind of that training scar in it. But if I'm at home just kind of, dry fire practicing, the fact that you don't have to re-rack the slide every time, that's nice.
No, and it is really nice. I know that when we took this out for initial testing, we ran into our buddy Mike from Tactical Considerations. Go make sure to go give him a follow. Would I buy this, suggest this to people who are looking in that price range? Yes, 100% yes. This is a great starter pistol, a great gun to learn on, and then as you advance and find yourself with a little bit more change in your pocket, to go to a better or a different brand.
Right, so, absolutely.
Or even some of the other Taurus offerings, because we're messing with another one right now that I really like.
Yep.
So that being said, let's wrap this up. Kurt, what you gotta tell the folks?
Again, guys, thank you so much for watching our videos. Be sure to subscribe. That's huge for us. And comment and let us know what you think and what your experiences have been as well. So again, for this and any other information, be sure to check out True Shot.